On the weekend of September 6th, Ian McDiarmid and Hayden Christensen, the Emperor and his apprentice, were scheduled to appear at a Star Wars panel at the FanX convention in Salt Lake City, Utah. This panel was cancelled at the last moment, and reportedly by Disney's decree. That fueled speculation that Hayden Christensen might also appear on screen in the upcoming Episode 9, amidst rumors of the filmmakers struggling to agree on a cut of the movie, rumors which we are about to add more detail to. In this video, we will begin by covering just how important The Rise of Skywalker is to Disney and Lucasfilm, and in light of that, we will explore the rumors of Hayden Christensen appearing, add further clarification to the rumors that they are struggling to lock down a cut, and finally, how this ties in with the rumors that the reshoots are still ongoing. If you like the content provided in this video, then please help share it, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Over the course of the past year, the indications that the Star Wars brand is in trouble have gone mainstream. There have been numerous published reports about failing toy sales, lackluster crowds at the new Galaxy's Edge parks at both Disneyland in Anaheim and Disney World in Orlando, kids no longer being into Star Wars like they once were, as well as a general despondency about the brand among the built-in Star Wars fanbase. The upcoming film, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, is no longer considered the sure thing it once was, but now is the movie that rests to save the entire Star Wars franchise. While many no doubt will argue that the rot had already set in with The Force Awakens, a stronger case can be made that it was The Last Jedi that broke Star Wars. Case in point, the very same media outlets that hailed it as a masterpiece upon release are now increasingly referring to it as controversial. When speaking to the Associated Press at D23, director J.J. Abrams had said that the events of The Last Jedi hadn't really derailed his plans for Episode 9. The story that we're telling, the story that we started to conceive when we did The Force Awakens, was allowed to continue. Episode 8 didn't really derail anything we were thinking about, said Abrams. It was a good thing that Abrams hedged there because there's a lot of gray area in didn't really. It would be bad form to throw Rian Johnson and by extension The Last Jedi under the bus. So Abrams isn't likely to do that for a long time yet. Although that day may still come, like it did for Ghostbusters 2016 director Paul Feig.
And Sony does not like to lose money in a film. It made a lot of money around the world, but it just cost too much, making it economically not feasible to do another one. So it's too bad. The director, he spent too much on it, and he didn't shoot scenes we suggested to him. Several scenes that were going to be needed, and he said, no, we don't need them. And then we tested the movie, and they needed them, and he had to go back and about 30 to 40 million in reshoots. So, yeah. Wow. So he will not be back on the Sony line anytime soon.
Even if Abrams is diplomatic now, both Simon Pegg and Daisy Ridley have earlier indicated that yes, The Last Jedi really did derail Abrams' original plans. By how much, you wonder? Colin Trevorrow, who was supposed to direct Episode 9, and we've heard some rumors to suggest that The Last Jedi killing off Luke Skywalker, who reportedly was supposed to have an integral part in that movie, just may have had something to do with his leaving. It's been heavily rumored that Johnson had discarded the plans Abrams laid out for the trilogy, and after that is when the public signs of audience rejecting Star Wars started manifesting themselves. So with The Rise of Skywalker, Abrams has to work with the subversion The Last Jedi left on the franchise, bring back the old fans, bring in new fans, and make Star Wars great again. With both Lando Calrissian and Emperor Sheev Palpatine returning to the fold, it would appear that playing on nostalgia is one of the ways in which he plans on doing that. At the FanX convention in Salt Lake City, Utah, Disney allegedly canceled a panel featuring Star Wars actors Hayden Christensen and Ian McDiarmid. No reason was given for the cancellation, which was called off approximately 90 minutes prior to its scheduled start. Many had speculated that the reason for the sudden change was that Disney feared the actors would reveal spoilers for the upcoming Episode 9 The Rise of Skywalker. In a tweet response from Kessel Run Radio's Noah Outlaw, where he's pictured with Hayden Christensen, when Outlaw said to Christensen, "Can't wait to see you in Episode 9, Christensen winked at him. This could have been innocuous, or it could have been indicating that Christensen knows something we don't, and that should not be ruled out. With Solo, a Star Wars story, they were largely able to keep Darth Maul's guest cameo a secret right up until the movie's release. They will want to wow the audience with unexpected surprises, so Hayden Christensen returning, either as Anakin's Force Ghost or a Darth Vader flashback, is not at all unlikely, and he might not be the only one. Rumors began circulating about George Lucas's involvement in Episode 9 as far back as July of 2018. Initial reports suggest that he was brought in to polish up the script. According to current UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, Lucas was rumored to be scouting locations in the UK around that time. Studios scout locations all the time. However, Lucas's rumored presence could indicate that Disney was turning to the former Star Wars director for much-needed guidance. If there is any truth to this, expect George Lucas to be brought out to condone the movie as the marketing blitz heats up closer to the time of release. But even if the rumors that George Lucas worked on the script turn out to be accurate, other rumors suggest they are no closer to locking down a final, releasable cut of the movie. Friend of Midnight's Edge and fellow YouTuber Dictor Van Doomcock received word from his inside source at Lucasfilm. The recent barrage of plot leaks which we have already covered in this video, so check that out if you haven't, are in fact a form of stealth market research. Doomcock's source claims that over a dozen cuts of the film exist, and that Lucasfilm is deliberately leaking these plots in the hopes to find one that takes root. This is so they can prep a cut which stands the biggest chance of success for release. With new information surfacing about the Rise of Skywalker almost daily about the multitude of different plot leaks, then if these rumors are to be believed, it would appear that J.J. Abrams is attempting to direct a sort of choose-your-own-adventure film by committee. Only this time, it's the internet that is being used as a de facto focus group. We are not able to either confirm nor deny the veracity of the focus group part of these rumors. However, we have also heard some murmurs from behind the scenes which support the main point of Doomcock's report. We must warn you that the information that has been supplied to us cannot be independently verified, and it must be therefore taken with a grain of salt. That mandatory health warning out of the way, what we have heard from our source with ties to Lucasfilm is that they are indeed struggling with locking down a final cut of the movie. More specifically, we have heard that over the course of its production, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker has undergone 3 major revisions, and with editing, a total of 6 different outcomes were possible. In other words, several different cuts of the movie exist. All have been tested internally at Disney, but none have hit the mark just yet. Despite major reshoots having already taken place, more work is still necessary, although we do not know to which extent. This does, however, tie in with the rumors that reshoots are still ongoing as we speak. And these rumors do not come from either us or Doomcock, although they do support what we, independently of each other, have heard. Many may not be familiar with the name Art Tavanna. He is a pop culture writer who has worked for Playboy, The Spectator, LA Weekly, and Penthouse, so he does have some connections to the entertainment industry. In a tweet dated September 7th, he wrote that, "I'm being told that Disney is reshooting scenes for Star Wars. Don't quote me. Yeah, a little late for that. Things aren't looking good. Too many variables and audiences to please. George Lucas as a creative consultant seems like a very likely occurrence, though there's no telling how much say he'll have. Reshoots in Hollywood are a common occurrence that happen on just about any movie. However, given how consistent this is with the other rumors we have relayed to you, it does not paint a pretty picture or outlook for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. To be clear, movies looking like complete dumpster fires before being given a total makeover in the editing bay are nothing new. The most famous example is the original Star Wars, which was also a hot mess until the newly brought in editor Paul Hirsch was able to completely rework it and make it a masterpiece out of the footage handed to him in the editing bay. Another example we like to bring up is the original Rambo movie, First Blood. It started out as a 3-hour slow-paced drama, which tested so poorly that Stallone wanted to buy the movie and destroy it, fearing it might otherwise destroy his career. However, it was saved in the editing bay when it was transformed into a 90-minute actioner, which would go on to establish Stallone as an action hero. Point is, there are examples of movies being saved with editing. Other times, the footage for a good movie just isn't there, and no amount of editing will help. Case in point, both the music video edit and the director's compromise edit of Suicide Squad were released, and arguably, neither worked. Where Lucasfilm is concerned, their track record for reshoots and having to fix their films in the editing bay is an extremely spotty one. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, underwent extensive reshoots, with Kathleen Kennedy even having to bring in Tony Gilroy to assist Gareth Edwards, something which ended up helping the final movie. Edwards was at least allowed to be present during the retooling of Rogue One, which was not the case on Solo, a Star Wars story. There, original directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller were summarily fired when the movie was almost done, and Ron Howard was brought in to salvage the film. Midnight's Edge has exclusively learned from an inside source we know that Kennedy had no choice but dismiss the original directors after having allowed a wayward and rudderless production to continue for over 80 days. Upon Lord and Miller's removal, the source also claims that the cast and crew allegedly cheered the news of their firing. Director Ron Howard ended up reshooting about 75% of the movie, but it wasn't enough. The end result having been regarded by critics and audiences as a mixed bag at best, and largely due to many fans' dissatisfaction with The Last Jedi. Solo, a Star Wars story, was the first ever Star Wars movie to lose money at the box office, proving the downward spiral Star Wars finds itself in, and how it is of tantamount importance for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker to fix the brand. Do you think it can do it, or is the damage too great, even if the movie should turn out alright? Let us know in the comments.